Everyone talks about the first line of the book. It's important because it captures your reader's attention and makes them want more. Just as important as the first line is, so is the middle. Writing the middle isn't about pushing harder, it's about paying attention longer. Hello, fiction babes and storytellers. Welcome to the second season of Habits of a Writer, the podcast where we talk about the good habits that lead to a finished manuscript. I'm your host, Portia Levette. I myself have written several novels, self published two so far, and I'm currently working on the next one. When a reader labels a book DNF, which in the book industry means did not finish, it's an intentional stop. It's usually because the story got boring, or they no longer felt motivated to care about the characters, or they simply lost interest. Even with no guns blazing, when the dragon's fallen asleep, or the boyfriend has been introduced to the family, the middle should not be boring. If you're bored, your character is avoiding something. The catalyst has been presented. This is a writer's diagnostic tool. Boredom in the middle usually means a hard choice is being postponed, an emotional beat is being rushed, or the character is circling instead of confronting. That's your clue, not a failure. One rule I try to stick to is finish the scene you're in before opening a new one. We want to jump ahead or get to a certain point quickly. I recently finished the first draft of my next novel called That Night on the Bridge. My goal for the second draft is to make sure I carried my scenes to their end and move the story forward without rushing it. Ask yourself, is the pace slow enough for the reader to feel like they are in the scene with the character? You don't want them to be observers, but participants. Your beats go from setup to catalyst to the transition from Act 1 to Act 2. I'll tell you, one of my biggest lessons to learn resisting the urge to outrun the story. I have so many ideas in my head. I will jokingly say the muses are busy. However, the truth, I'm avoiding the details and just telling the story. I'm in a hurry just to get it done. I have to slow down and allow the story to unfold. And this is why I read the writing books and join the writing clubs. Understanding the craft is how a writer grows. When you find yourself writing, whether it's fiction or nonfiction, I'd like to present 7 simple rules to apply to the middle. The first one is simply to slow down. Allow the beat to breathe. Every scene should move the characters to or further from the truth. Slow scenes are fine, quiet chapters are fine. What kills the middle is wandering. I learned this with the first novel I wrote, or first novel I published. I got to a scene where the two characters had to break up, and I'm the one that didn't want to see the relationship end. But like I said, when you get to that part, where it's starting to get boring and you're wondering, it's because a hard choice is being postponed. And sometimes it's the writer who's postponing it. Rule number 2, don't solve problems, complicate them. The middle isn't about answers, it's about friction. If your character fixes something too quickly, take a pause. If they get clarity too easily, add resistance. Let success create new problems. That's how momentum is built. Rule number 3, understand your character's arc at midpoint. They aren't the same person they started off as. Every scene should cost your character something. If nothing is lost, such as pride, certainty, safety, the middle feels flat. That doesn't mean explosions and trauma. Something that costs, examples would be saying the wrong thing, avoiding the truth, making a choice that closes another door. If you think about it, that's real life also. Rule number 4, use reflection as action, especially coming of age and later in life stories. Pauses matter. A quiet realization, a memory surfacing, a moment of self betrayal or self honesty, stillness counts if it changes the character's next choice. Rule number 5, let desire and fear exist at the same time. The middle works when your character wants something and is afraid of what it will cost. They move forward, then hesitate, then move again. That push pull is emotional tension. If the character is too sure, the middle collapses. In life, we call this getting out of our comfort zone. Rule number 6, the middle is where self deception lives. Before transformation comes honesty. There's usually a lie the character tells themselves. The middle is the space where that lie almost works or costs them something important. This is where emotional truth sharpens. And our final rule, change the question, not just the situation. In Act 1, the question is often, can I do this? In the middle, it shifts to, should I do this? The external events may look similar, but the internal stakes are deepened. Now, these aren't rules to box you in. They're reminders to keep you from abandoning your story halfway through. You're still the writer. Use the ones that will help you move the middle part of your story forward. So, this week's habit, sit still. The middle isn't broken. Allow yourself to grow alongside the characters. It's your story. Take the time to tell it well. Hey, if you're new here and looking for tips on building a writing routine, encouragement to finally publish your manuscript, and real talk about all things writing, then I'm so glad we found each other. I'll be here every Tuesday with a brand new episode. So make sure you hit the follow or subscribe buttons so you don't miss it. And if today's episode encouraged you, share it with another writer friend. You never know who might need it. Until then, happy writing, my friends. Again, my name is Portia Lee Vet, and this is Habits of a Writer.